Okay, honorable Japan, go ahead. Iyo fire-tender, makhandu ese akangopata mafire-tender. Wezi kaona za makhandu umushauri. Saka kutungiwa chukuliwa wapi mali. Saka tikazi kutima umushauri imeno kushinga. Kulo kuna moto kana utika after 2 years. Asishika kuosha imvura. Saka nyaka mzauti makhandu yeka ya Sepango mirase. Kana atara makazi atongo zumbo kwaito zumbo.
My point of order arises from the fact that Parliament is moved from paper trail to e-paper, from physical paper to e-paper. And when I will submit that when the honorable ministers come with ministerial statement, they should, soon after presenting their ministerial statement, their workers should upload, either they should give workers of Parliament, we should then upload so that these members can follow from their guidance. Otherwise, people are now beginning we could hardly hear big network issues. So if you have a soft copy, then give it to parliamentary staff who can upload and then engage in things on factual matters.
Thank you very much, Honorable.
Mr. Speaker, mine will be very simple, practical points, which I have a problem with. The first one is, I understand, and Honorable BT has brought up that we should see the agreement. But I see fire tenders are being brought as a priority above everything else. Waste management, water, everything. I would like to see if the Minister could present to us the letters from all these councils asking for fire tenders, both urban and rural. My second question is, to what extent were CRAs involved? Her statement is devoid of detail. The Minister mentioned stakeholders. Are the stakeholders of this country only the fire people who attended that one workshop and employees? What about the rest of us? My third thing, and this is a fourth thing, which is the Minister must clarify for me. The amount of the loan is unknown to us, other than what we've seen on social media. However, we know from the Ministry of Finance that in April they started paying back this loan at $5.3 million a month. $5.3 million a month of our devolution funds is going to pay back these fire tenders. Where are they? Then the minister wrote to the councils on about the 10th or the 12th of June, I don't recall the exact date, but 10th or 12th, where we'd already paid back with our devolution funds 2 times. So by end of June, we paid back $15 million, nearly $16 million of devolution funds, and we only got the letter when we paid back those money already. So my question is, who is running the devolution fund? Honorable BT has already told us we don't have an act. I don't know any MP or councillor who was consulted on this deal. It is a mirror image of Pamana. The money is run by the minister, not even the ministry. So if the minister could answer that for me, I'd be most grateful. My last thing which I'd like to draw to attention of this house. The first deal we had with Belarus was on tractors, of which there was no backup. Right now we've got fire tenders coming from Belarus. Honorable Melissa here mentioned about dealing with people.
Honorable BT.
Thank you, Senator. Honorable Melissa mentioned we have a problem with not dealing with people we know.
Point of order.
We need.
Point of order. What's your point of order?
They are not collected. Like we do speak.
What about the numbers?
Fully understand this answer.
I think this is what I actually said before I gave you the opportunity.
Yeah, I'm on my last one, which I stated.
You seem to be extending too much.
All right, last one, Honourable Speaker. The issue is very simple. Who's going to do the backup for these tenders? Who is going to back up and have the workshop for these tenders? As I've said, it's parallel to Pomona. Thank you.
Honourable Speaker, I want to thank the esteemed Minister of Local Government for the ministerial statement on the fire tender situation. Madam Speaker, I'm concerned with the law. The law must be followed. The first thing that the Honourable Minister says is that the fire tenders were contracted as a result of a bilateral agreement between the Republic of Zimbabwe and Belarus. That agreement, according to the Minister's statement, imposes financial obligations on Zimbabwe. Any agreement or treaty or convention that imposes financial obligations on Zimbabwe must be approved by this Parliament in terms of Section 327, subsection 3 of the Constitution. And the approval, Honourable Speaker said, if you read Section 327, subsection 3, is prior approval. So before you sign, you actually need the prior approval of Parliament for any agreement that imposes financial obligations on Zimbabwe. Secondly, Honourable Speaker said, this Parliament did not approve this particular agreement. Therefore, it's completely null and void. The second thing, Honourable Speaker, I have a problem is that if she makes a reference to an agreement, she must lay before this House, she must disclose to this House that agreement. So we request that the Honourable esteemed Minister lays before this House, presents before this House a copy of the agreement between the government of Zimbabwe and the government of Belarus or the companies in Belarus in respect of those fire tenders. And I hope you issue that directive. The third thing, Mr. Speaker, relates to the use of devolution funds. The use of devolution funds. Devolution funds do not belong to the government. Devolution funds belong to provincial governments, where in much central, in much east, in much north, in much south, in the Midlands, and in the two metropolitan provinces of Harare and Bulawayo. If you look at the constitution, government has no role other than as an allocating authority. Government has no role other than as an allocating authority. So the government of Zimbabwe and the Ministry of Finance cannot disburse, cannot pay Belarus funds that doesn't belong to them. Those funds belong to local authorities. Those funds belong to provincial governments. Fourth, Mr. Speaker, and we've been harping on this issue for a long time. Section 304 of the Constitution says an Act of Parliament must provide for how devolution funds are to be distributed. That Act of Parliament is not there. Chapter 14 of the Constitution, which deals with provincial and local government, says there must be an Act of Parliament to provide for the provincial structures of devolution. We have elections next year. The Constitution was enacted in 2013. Almost 10 years later, that law is not there.
People like Honorable Alan Norman Makam, Rusty Makam, who is here, they have been to court to compel the Minister of Local Government to come up with that law. And the Minister said, I will give you an act within 6 months. 6 months ended in March of 2021. We are now in July of 2022. That act is not there. On what basis are disbursements being made in the absence of these two laws? The one setting up the devolution structure in terms of Chapter 14 of the Constitution, and the one providing for the distribution of finances by the Minister, the allocation formula, the equitable allocation formula spoken of in terms of Section 304. Another insight. But I now come to the procurement, and I'm asking clarification about it. I'm concluding, please. Mr. Speaker said, Section 274 of the Constitution says local authorities are run by those that are elected in councils. So that means the government, the Minister of Local Government, Mr. July Moyo, and his deputy, Mrs. Miriam Chomo, cannot run local authorities. They are run by those that elected. That means that decisions on procurement, decisions on policy, on whether to build clinics or hospitals or to buy fire tenders or to build schools lies essentially with local authorities. In this case, there is not a single authority. There is not a single authority in Zimbabwe, local authority in Zimbabwe, that said we have as a priority the needs and desire for fire tenders. So the ministry, with its own ambitious, I shall say corrupt ambitions, has created demands and went and bought things that the local authorities don't consider as priority.
I think I've given you enough time.
I'm now concluding. Mr. Chairman. I'm now concluding. I'm now concluding. So, in the absence of resolutions by local authorities making a decision to purchase, the decision by the government to acquire fire tenders is a nullity. Then lastly, Honorable Speaker said, local authorities are procurement agents. So they are bound by the State Procurement Act, Section 32 and Section 30 and Section 31 and 32 of the Procurement Act is very clear. The acquisition of any good or a service must be approved by the procurement board. Therefore, the acquisition of these fire tenders is illegal. In conclusion, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Speaker, we can't have a ministry and a minister that is now so hell-bent on extracting and looting Zimbabwe. This fire tender is coming on the heels of the Pomona Gate scandal. It is a shame, Honorable Speaker, and I hope that this House can resolve that Minister Chombo must reconsider his position. I thank you very much.